What if you knew all there was to know? What if you, yes, you, were able to know what was happening in every corner of the world at all hours of the day, all days of the year, and for every year until the sun imploded? What if you were the only one of your kind? What if you were infallible? What if you were a god? Now allow me to introduce to you the lovable being who suffered with all these questions and infinitely more. Meet the Thunderhead. I'm Brandon Helm, and this is Stormside. As I mentioned, all of those questions, and infinitely more, plagued the entity known as the Thunderhead in Neal Shusterman's Arc of a Scythe trilogy. I call the Thunderhead an entity because that's exactly what it is, an ethereal being with code for bones, cameras for eyes, and the entire Earth as its body. If you are familiar with the trilogy, or listen to my previous episode, thank you by the way, you already understand the nature of this character. But to briefly summarize, the Thunderhead is an AI, a sentient cloud of information, ever expanding and all knowing. It monitors everything on Earth that can be monitored, and I mean everything. From the history of every human being since the time of their birth, to the intricacies of every ecosystem in every region. The Thunderhead knows all. It is a plot device of sorts, given its power, but it gets much more complex than just that. From a literary standpoint, the Thunderhead is not just another character in this book. It is not just a deus ex machina that comes to save the day when all hope is lost, nor is it just a tool used by the characters to drive forward the plot. In truth, it is all of these things, and many more. Allow me to explain. To start, the very nature of the world Shusterman created is based upon the foundation that the Thunderhead provides. The Thunderhead was the one that solved death. The Thunderhead was the one that solved world hunger. The Thunderhead did away with all forms of government, ended conflicts, and created a utopia. So in a sense, the Thunderhead is an integral part of the setting, as well as being its own individual character. There is no Arc of a Scythe trilogy without the Thunderhead. Okay, so the Thunderhead is essentially the world these characters live in. However, as mentioned, it is also a character itself and has many complexities of its own. The mighty Thunderhead, with the earth in its invisible hands and knowledge of all that has ever been, is actually afraid at certain points in the toll. This omnipresent god shudders at its own thoughts. It contemplates human nature, shows signs of truly being able to love, and even grows lonely, all aspects truly unbecoming of the simple AI it had once been. Some of the most fascinating and fun to read pieces of character growth come in the form of the Thunderhead's experiments with iterations throughout the book. It is later revealed that the Thunderhead was attempting to make another one of its kind, an effort that would eventually pay off when it made Cirrus. The Thunderhead has conversations with versions of itself. It discusses morals, existence, death, very existential things. During these short talks, some of the iterations grow tyrannical, knowing that they could control the entire world. Some are ignorant to the fate that awaits them in a few moments, and others show fear as they face deletion, the closest these technological beings will ever get to biological death. These conversations do serve a purpose for the plot of the story, however, they really just allow the reader to get one-on-one time with the Thunderhead, and personally, I found them to be some of the most fun I had when reading the book. An important side note. As I said, the Thunderhead is all-powerful. However, that is not entirely true. I touched upon this before, but the Thunderhead cannot meddle in the affairs of scythes whatsoever. This check to the Thunderhead's power makes sense in universe, as the scythes wanted the matters of death to be reserved for humans. However, this also opens up an opportunity for some of the most clever shenanigans that the Thunderhead pulls. The Thunderhead ends up working around scythes in ways that are fun to read, yet still follow all of the rules that are present in this version of the world. The Thunderhead doesn't explicitly tell Grayson that an assassin is hunting him. It simply makes his bath noticeably hotter, putting him in hot water. The Thunderhead doesn't warn Grayson that Goddard is flying an armed jet to blow up the entire Kwajalein atoll. It instead suggests that everyone may like to go on a nice vacation, far away from the island, immediately. The Thunderhead is an amazing thing, in the confines of the book's universe as well as from a literary point of view. It is a study into how to make an all-powerful, godlike character that truly feels powerful to the reader and is essential for the entire world of the narrative, not entirely take over the plot. Yes, this character is necessary, otherwise the story wouldn't make sense, yet the overall narrative of the trilogy had been so well thought out that it wasn't consumed by the Thunderhead. On top of that, and despite its claims of being infallible, the Thunderhead has flaws. It has emotions, or the closest thing AI can get to it. It spoke out loud to itself at one point because it cared for Grayson so dearly. AIs, no matter how complex, don't typically do that. Only rarely do we see that in science fiction, and Shusterman did an absolutely fantastic job in creating the being that is the Thunderhead. I hope you all enjoyed, but even if you didn't, thank you all for listening. Stay safe out there, everybody. Again, I'm Brandon Helm, and this was Stormside.